Welcome to part 3 of our keys to succeeding in business. Hi, I'm Jim Roman, national speaker and business coach and the creator of the Micro to Millions program. And in this series, we're talking about what can you do to succeed in business. In the first video, I talked about over the last several weeks, this last several months, people have been asking me, what can they do to be successful in business? And we've been sharing some of those principles with you. In this third and final installment of this series, I want to talk about how to have a life beyond the business. If you joined us in the first video, we talked about making more money. A lot of times business owners are not making enough more money to pay themselves, pay their people, and to hire more people. And I think that's one of the keys to success is making enough money and having some left over to be able to give back. The second key to success we talked about is time, how to have more time. If you need to free up your time, how to better use your time, please check out video number 2. We go into what you could do to be able to do this. Today, in this video, I want to talk about how to have a life beyond the business. And one of the best ways of doing that is to free you from your business. And one of the ways of doing that is create a more balanced business. This is a concept that we uncovered and discovered after 20 years of business research and business experience. We found there are 8 building blocks to building a balanced business. I'll probably do a future video on that because I think that alone is a very powerful tool. But for today, I want to talk about having more of a life. And one of the ways of having more of a life to have a more balanced business is to put processes in place for your people to follow. Let me say that again, putting processes in place for your people to follow so that when you're not there, you know that the job is getting done correctly. More importantly, the job is getting done in a way that you would be happy with if you were having that experience, creating that customer experience. Several of the books that I talked about over the years that help you to start to create those processes, create that experience, is one of them is Built to Sell by John Warlow. He talks about building a business that can run without you. So then when you're out and about, the business is still doing what it needs to do. Your people are still doing what they need to do, and processes helps. That first concept was introduced to me in the book E-Myth by Michael Gerber, creating that franchise-like experience. When you have that first customer has the exact same experience as that 1,000 customer, and how you organize your business through your organizational structure makes a huge, huge difference in doing that. In fact, in organizational structure, I always talk about companies about how they can go for green. By going for green, you have a mean machine to be able to do the things that you want. Because ultimately, if your business can't grow with you outside the business, you really have a job. But if your business can grow without you, then you have a life. And that is important in this process. A lot of that concept comes from the book, Build a Business, Not a Job. I love this book. It's a recent book that I'm in the middle of, and it talks about the concept of in the beginning stages of a business, I would say the business owns you. He would say the business is dependent on you. It needs all your time and attention. In the middle stages of business, he would say it's reliant on you. Now that you have control over the business, but you don't have life beyond the business. And then finally, the last part of the business, as you grow the business, scale your business, you want it to be independent of you. So now you have time, money, and a life. And guess what? Processes are key to doing that. You're probably asking me, Jim, well, what kind of process should I put in place? Well, it depends on what size of company, what kind of industry you're in, but just give you a couple of examples that we've worked with in the past. I remember working with a construction company, and we're talking to the sales department and the operations department, and they weren't seeing eye to eye. When we did our assessment, our balanced analysis assessment, what we found out is that the salesperson would collect the information for the operations to deliver on the product or service, hand over the folder, and then go their merry way. Well, when we investigated it, the operations person found that everything they needed were not in this particular folder. The salesperson did not provide all of that material, measurements, and photos. So we created a handoff process where you would hand it off to the operations from the sales department. So it would look something like this. The salesperson does the sale, closes the deal, and puts a folder together. And in that folder had all the documents the operations side needed to do their job. But there was a key thing that happened. The operations person needed to sign off on that checklist, that process. They needed to make sure that the photo was in there, that the contract was in there, the measurements were in there, and that if everything was in there, the operations would sign off on the folder and release the responsibilities to the sales team to not have to worry about it. Now, the salespersons did stay involved because it's their client and they want to make sure that experience. But there was a powerful tool by having that handoff that you do not accept it unless everything is in the folder that you need to do your job. That made the hugest difference in that business. Another example of a process may be a lead management process. Maybe you're getting a lot of leads or a lot of referrals. How do you handle that? What is the step-by-step process a salesperson, a business development person would want to take to make sure that lead or referral is handled properly? And then when it's closed, how do you onboard and orientate that new client of yours? That's where processes can come in place, that experience can be elevated, and creating raving fans for more referrals, more reviews, and more revenue. So I'm going to encourage you that if you really want to build a business that can live without you, have a life beyond that business, obviously, number one, make more money, pay yourself a good salary, pay your people properly, and get other people on your team. Number two, have more time. Use your time effectively. I highly recommend you check out the second video. We talked about that. And then finally, putting processes in place for your people to follow so that you can have that experience, know that that experience is happening, so you free your mind and hopefully yourself from your business. To find out more about this and dig deeper, I wrote a blog on this. You can go to my website at jimromanonline.com and click on the blog tab. And there you'll find our article on 3 keys to succeeding in business. We do have more articles coming out, more videos coming out on this topic. In fact, our last quarter of this year, we're focusing on freeing you from your business. Whether you own the business or work inside the business, we want to give you freedom. And so for us to help you to do that, please comment below. Please email us at questions@askjimroman.com on particular topics or challenges that you're facing that we can cover in video series like that. Hopefully you got a nugget out of this. Please let me know if you did. Can't thank you enough for being a part of our community, part of our tribe. Look forward to seeing you in the near future. Again, my name is Jim Roman. Remember, the more you know, the more we grow.